Disclaimer. The views and opinions expressed in this interview are those of the individual being interviewed and do not necessarily reflect the views of the production team or the network. Please be aware that the content shared may involve sensitive subjects and personal experiences. This interview is intended for viewers aged 18 and older. Viewer discretion is advised, as the stories are meant for informational purposes only.
Let's get down to business. Give you one more night to get this. We've had a million nights just like this. So let's get down to business. Let's get down to business. Give you one more night to get this. We've had a million nights just like this. So let's get down to business. Back and forth with the bullshit. I know I said it before, I don't mean it. It's been a while since I had your attention, so it might hurt to hit it.
Hi there, everyone. Thank you for joining us today on the Let's Talk podcast with the Stoic. Me, alongside myself, will be our special guest, Audreia Joseph, author. She can tell you more about her journey. There's a lot more to her than just being an author, and I don't want to be the one to share it. I'm going to allow for Audreia to say that to you herself. So, Audreia, welcome, and thank you for being my guest this month on Let's Talk podcast.
Greetings, Jeannie, and thank you for inviting me.
Oh,
I'm
you're
really
welcome.
excited.
I'm excited more than you because I'm thinking, well, the topic today is going to be about forgiveness. I've only done a chapter in my book, but you've written a whole book about forgiveness along with many more. So I'd like you to tell our listeners and viewers what your titles of your books are, and give me if I'm wrong, is it 5 or 6 books you've written?
6.
6 books?
Count.
Really? 2 more books? Two
Yes.
more books to come. So watch this space, guys. So tell me the titles of your book.
Okay,
books.
So it's called Forgiveness, The Journey to Healing the Heart.
Okay.
That was my very first book in 2016.
Mm-hmm.
And my second book is The Journey to Purpose.
Wow.
And that's an anthology that I'm making with 15 other authors.
Right, okay.
And then the next book I did was an entrepreneurial book, a handbook.
Okay.
Yeah, and I did that during COVID.
Wow.
Just a small chapter.
Okay.
Where I've set up a head wrap business.
Okay.
About that.
All right. I can get some tips then.
And then, let me get my brain right. Okay, lessons we learned during COVID. I wrote another anthology. And then this year, I wrote my heart detox, 30-day heart detox, which is my forgiveness guide.
Okay.
And then I've got a hair story, which is called Family Mane.
Right. So my main ones that I know about is the one of the journey of the hair.
Yeah.
And the other one about forgiveness.
Yeah, the heart detox.
The heart detox.
Yeah.
And that's, I think, is very crucial, and I think complementary through our own journeys. Mm-hmm. And then most importantly is your book called Forgiveness. So without further ado, folks, I'm going to hand you over to Audreia to tell you about forgiveness.
Well, the forgiveness book that I wrote, 2016, that chronicles my life journey.
Okay.
So I was born in 1961.
Okay.
First child born to Jamaican parents here in the UK. And that book chronicles me growing up in Handsworth.
Okay.
I was born in Warsaw. but I came to Birmingham when I was 6 years old.
Okay. So majority of your life has been in
So
Birmingham.
I've been in Birmingham because I'm 60 odd.
Okay.
You know, so yes. And that book's talking about my domestic violent life that I suffered as a child.
Wow.
The trauma I went through. I was a battered child at the hands of my mother for 10 years.
Oh dear.
I was molested at the age of 3,
Ooh.
sexually molested, and sexually abused at the age of 8. And so it chronicles that, but it also chronicles, it goes through my whole life from birth, from not really being wanted, coming all the way through. So many stories, you'd have to read it, but it really talks about school, how people looked at me, how I felt about myself. And the reason I called it forgiveness was because I was in a space of forgiving. When I wrote that book, I was learning, coming to the space of forgiveness. Now, all these years later, I actually don't even call it forgiveness. I call it the art of letting go. The reason I call it the art of letting go is simply because I found that when I was doing my coaching, people didn't want to hear the word forgiveness, because it's as if you're commanding or telling them to do something or to let go of something that, you know. And so I realized that holding on. So it's the art of letting go. So that's where I got to.
Just backtracking a bit, you talked about when you were coaching. Tell us a little bit more about that and why it led you to change it from forgiveness to the...
I came from a religious space. Obviously, for me, I grew up Sunday school, going to church, doing da 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 da. But for me, I had a particular situation to church. I really want to get into it.
It's fine. That's absolutely sensitive. Fine. Yeah, that's fine.
But I was in the church, and I was in the church for 8 years. Right, singing on the choir, Sunday school teacher, all of that. But I see things differently now, and I guess that would have to be an individual conversation. But I realized that as soon as I kept saying forgiveness, people thought I was coming off with something religious.
And could you give an example of what?
Yeah, sure, because you know, you don't really tend to hear the conversation of forgiveness anywhere else but church. And so people thought I was coming at them with this church energy. And I had long finished with the church. So I didn't want anybody to start thinking that, because I actually didn't get my conviction of forgiveness until I left all of that. I didn't learn to forgive while I was in there. In fact, I was holding on to unforgiveness while singing in the choir, sitting in the church, clapping, playing the tambourine and everything.
Do you know why that would be?
You see, for me, the particular space that I was in, the church that I went to, no one was dealing with your trauma.
So the word trauma.
No one was talking about trauma. Everybody, you're talking scriptures, you're talking blah, 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 but you're not actually addressing people who are sat there in front of you's trauma. I had big trauma, and I actually had gone in there to try and heal my trauma, because I was in a state mentally, you know, but getting there, I found that there was nothing there personally.
Right. It's a personal journey, isn't it?
And so I felt like I needed to find peace within. And where was I going to find that? And so it was a lot of soul searching, would they say? Soul searching, mind searching, book searching, workshop searching, all kind of searching. To try and find this thing that I didn't even understand what was going on inside of me. All I knew was it was a rage. It was a rage that no one could see physically.
Did you see it?
I actually thought it was my personality.
Really?
Yeah, because sometimes you can mix your trauma up for your personality.
Yeah, I get that as well.
Because if you're an angry person, people just label you just angry.
Yeah, or aggressive.
Or whatever.
Yeah.
And people are not actually realizing that that's
or something's triggered your trauma for your reaction.
Yeah.
The way that you've just reacted. Yeah.
So some people might think you overact, you know, for something simple. And I found that I in my lifetime I had overreacted in certain areas, and so I wanted to understand what was that, because I felt coiled tight, and there was no one to explain it to me, no one to break it down to me, and I had such a desire for change.
Okay.
Truly wanted to change. I didn't want to feel tight like that.
Yeah.
You know,
unburden.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And it was in here.
Yes.
I couldn't explain it to anyone, not physically. And so I got to the place where I was beseeching within myself, begging myself, change, you can't live like this, you have children, you know.
So this is all going into adulthood as well.
You know, Jeannie, I did not even realize that I had been sexually abused until I gave birth to my first child.
What?
Let's
just pause there a second so that I've got this straight in my mind.
Yeah.
Are you telling me that at what age were you assaulted? At the age of 8?
Yeah. And I had my son at 18. So
at 18, 10 years. So 10 years on.
My mind closed.
Ah, I see where you're going with that. So you had a block. The trauma was blocked.
Yeah.
Okay. So with that being said, you then went on to say, until you were giving birth, that's when you knew you had been abused. So if you could tell me a bit more about that.
Oh, yeah. Remembering all of that is quite
but only if you feel that you can.
You know, I'm able to do this now.
Okay.
You know, but just there are still threads of the trauma.
Yeah.
I'm still a work in progress.
Okay.
And so I gave birth to my son, and it's my firstborn, 1980. And when I gave birth to him, these memories start, these dark
Pandora's box.
Yeah, instead of enjoying my baby.
Oh my gosh.
Instead of enjoying my baby, I found myself, because I'd been angry during those 10 years, and I didn't understand it from the age of 8 to 18.
Right.
You know, I would fight you at the drop of a hat.
Okay.
You know, quite.
Yeah.
And I didn't get it. So giving birth to my son, and then these memories started coming back into my head. And I actually started thinking they're false memories.
Oh.
Because
so there was a disconnection. Okay.
At first. And I was like, can't be, because this man was supposed to be, it was my mother's partner.
So we go back to the age of 8, and you're at home.
Yeah.
And who's at home with you?
My mother, her partner, and my younger brother and sister. 2 younger siblings.
Are they for?
Yeah, they.
For your is he your stepfather?
My mum's partner.
Your mum's partner. You identify
because my mum got married
again,
right? Okay. And so my stepfather, he had nothing to do with that.
Okay.
Yeah, but
my
mum's partner.
At
so
the
I
time,
have to, yeah. Okay. Especially when I'm speaking, I have to be clear, because I don't want anyone to get the wrong two idea. Men mixed up.
Okay, so if you want to just recap that and make that clear.
Yeah. So it was my younger sibling's father.
Right. So
my 2 younger siblings.
Okay, and your stepfather, he comes along in the scene later on?
Yes.
Right. So we're dealing with your mother's partner, father to your 2 younger siblings.
Yeah.
And they would be like young children, and you'd be right. Okay.
Yeah.
Okay. Yeah. Okay. So with that being said, without going too deep into it, because obviously we're not here for that to delve, but just if you're open to speak about it, I'm happy to listen, and you've got to be prepared that obviously we're live and people will hear. So you speak your truth as how you feel. I'm not going to interject in any way. You speak.
No, well, this occurred. This abuse occurred during my school holidays.
Okay.
So my mother, she worked, and he worked shift work. So he'd be on, was it 2 till 10 and those kind of shifts. And so I'd be at home, being the eldest, caring for my younger siblings. And this is when the abuse happened.
At the age of 8.
At the age
You're still
of
caring
8.
for your siblings as well. But back then, I think that was the norm, wasn't it? That as long as there's an adult or a child, not of like baby age, then each would.
Yeah, especially in the 60s, you know, when there were no regulations and rules around children at a particular age. You know, I was expected to do a fair few things during my school holidays at that age. I was ironing the clothes, clean. So I think I took a woman's duty as well as a child. And I think somehow, distortedly, he may have started looking at me as some sort of woman, because I was doing womanly work, because my mum had to work, you know. And so, that, and I have a granddaughter who's just recently turned 8, and it actually made me cry.
So are you triggered by?
I was actually, I didn't think I would have been. I had no knowledge because I've got several grandchildren, so I wasn't expecting to feel like that when she turned 8 in August. And it kind of, I looked at her. Back. It was because I was looking at her body, and her figure and her shape, and thinking, how could someone?
It happens, as we well know. It happens.
But you know, that one. And so when the memory came, for a long time I denied the memory. It took 2 years of this dark memory flowing back to me once I had the baby. And
did people put that down to like depression from after giving birth to a child, rather than identifying that it was actually a trauma, underlying trauma?
In 1980, no one was talking about postnatal depression. So I had no idea what that was. I didn't even hear that word. In 1980, when I gave birth to my son. So, and because I wasn't discussing it with anyone, I didn't say this had happened to me. I don't even think I spoke to my husband at the time about it. I didn't even share it with him. I was just having these thoughts. Because at first what happened was, how the thoughts intensified was, I had considered this man as my father, and I called him Dad. Because my father had disappeared when my mother was pregnant with me. So he wasn't around. Absent father. So he wasn't there. And this man who came, played with me, was friendly, was a really nice man.
Getting to know you because he's getting to know your mother.
Right. And so I thought he was a lovely man, and I called him Dad. And so when I gave birth to my son, because I was so angry against my father, because he really was an absent visitor in my life. And I said, this other man, I called him Dad, and I excluded my own father. So when the baby was born, I wanted, because him and my mother wasn't together, I wanted to take the baby for him to see the baby.
So let's just be clear. This man who you wanted to take your baby to see, which man is this?
The man who sexually abused me.
Right. So I see the picture here. So what you've blocked what he's done, and even though you were starting to have those thoughts and memories come back to you, it still did not link to that man because you had not identified with it yourself.
And what happened was, and it's something that I've never really talked about, so it's actually you're the one to get this. So what happened was, I said, "You're his grandfather, and I want you to see the baby." So we made a road trip because he wasn't in Birmingham, he was outside of Birmingham. Took the baby for him to meet this baby that I said was his grandchild. You know, he was
because he was the only father figure you knew, despite him being an abuser, perpetrator, and a paedophile. Yeah.
And took the baby, and when he held the baby, I felt sick.
Oh.
He held my baby, and I looked at him holding my baby, and there was something that moved inside of me, really moved, and I didn't understand it. And I left more angry than I went there.
Wow.
And confused, because the memories now had been happening. The baby was about 3 months old, and the memories were coming back faster and faster. And when he held the baby, and it was when I went back home, everything just hit me like 90 miles an hour.
The trigger, that's the trigger, isn't it?
Yeah, it hit me.
And even though it hit you, because you were young when it actually happened, what I didn't ask you was how long or how often did he abuse you at that age? So that memory...
I don't know.
Yeah.
I do know that what I do remember was I was outside playing with my younger siblings, and I remember him calling me, because that's what you do. Come in, come in, come in. And I remember him calling me and me ignoring him. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
And making some excuse or saying, I'm doing something with my younger siblings. I've got to keep an eye on them.
Okay. And did that make him angry?
I don't know.
You can't.
I can't even make it. And the thing about it is, I pride myself on having a good memory. You know, I remember a lot of things. I remember colours of things, shapes, But that space there,
blocked.
kind of.
Yeah.
I know it happened.
Yeah.
I remember the room. I remember what he said to me.
Okay.
So he said to me, now I don't know if that was the first time he sexually abused me or it was several times along the way. I know it wasn't once though.
Okay.
I know it wasn't once. It wasn't a one-off.
And each time Mum
wasn't there because he was on shift work, so he'd be in the house, in the bed. And we were children who had to keep quiet. We had to be like, Daddy's sleeping, so you gotta be, shh, don't wake him up. We'd be like, when you come in the room, come here. You know what I mean? And I remember him
making me feel.
Yeah. I remember him saying to me, I'm gonna do to you what I do to your mother.
What? Repeat that again.
To do to you what I do to your mother.
And in that moment, what did you think he meant? You said?
Well, I'm 8. I didn't understand it.
Okay.
You know, I didn't comprehend what it was. You know, was told to just lay down on the bed. And I won't even go much further into it.
Yeah. Yeah, it's deep.
Oh, yeah.
It's deep.
Oh, yeah. And to get to a place to forgive something like that, Jeannie, I never in my entire life thought I'd forgive anybody, anything, anytime in my life, especially that.
Thank you for that. I'm going to pause you there because we're going to come back to that, about the forgiveness element of that, because you mentioned something about your journey right at the very start when you said you were a battered child.
Yeah.
So are you able and open to talk about that?
Oh yeah.
Okay.
I don't close it because I believe that in my story there's healing for someone else.
Okay.
And you give people permission to start healing,
to talk,
when you start telling your truth.
Yeah.
And so for me, I feel like these things had occurred simply because I'm being used as that conduit for healing for others.
I hear that. I
Yeah.
hear that. Yeah.
And that's what I know for sure.
Yeah.
You know, that's why I can be who I am in the world today.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Excellent.
So
Excellent.
you want to know about the battered child?
Yes, please.
Okay. So what happened in that story now, that part of the journey was that my mother had 2 children with my father previously in Jamaica.
Okay.
And my mother was 14 when she gave birth to her first child.
Wow. 14.
Yeah.
And was that?
I have no idea.
Oh, okay.
I've
You
no
never
idea.
had no conversation about it with
I
your
know
mum?
some slight stuff, but I know my father was a policeman
Okay.
in Jamaica,
Okay.
and he was older.
A lot older.
Obviously,
So
taking advantage of a
Yeah.
girl. So obviously, my mother had gone through her own type of abuse.
right. So obviously that would make her also either angry, blocked her own trauma,
Yeah.
did not know how to deal.
I don't even think she knew that she was traumatized.
Right. Right.
You know, I look back at my mother and a lot of the stuff that I felt angry with her about, I have compassion.
Okay.
I do now.
Okay.
I really do, because I rewound the story. And
But before you rewind
okay,
the story,
let's go to where it started.
because we need to get to
I know.
the
So I'm
end
going to
for
show
the
you this part.
the forgiveness element of it.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So she had the 2 children with my father. They split up.
So, just going to pause you there. Sorry to interject, because I said I wasn't.
No,
going to interject.
I want you
But
to.
something you just said.
Yeah.
You said that he was a lot older than her,
Yeah.
and she had her first child at the age of 14,
Yeah.
and then she had another child with him.
Yeah.
And old would she have been with when she had
16.
So 2 years later.
Yeah.
So then you just says that they split up. So I'm wondering, did he and she have a relationship as well?
My father was a womanizer.
Okay.
So my father had various different women at the same time on the go.
Okay.
Yeah. So the women would come and taunt my mother.
Really?
Come to the house, stand there, tease her. And he did a lot of things to traumatize her because he put it in her face too.
Right.
And she was only young.
Yeah.
So they split up. She went on with her life. She had other children. There's 9 of us.
Okay, 9.
Yeah, there's 9 of us. She went on to get on with her life. Then what happened was, life is funny. My father came to the UK.
Okay.
Without her, you know, he
Yeah.
was getting on with his life. And what happened was he had one of the ladies that he was with in Jamaica, he was going to send for her to come to the UK.
Oh.
But then word had got to him that she was pregnant for someone else in Jamaica, and he'd already paid for the ticket.
Okay. Okay.
So what happened was, my uncle, my dad's brother, which my uncle was the first traveller to the UK.
Okay.
So he said to my dad, why don't you just send for my mother to come to give her a chance, because she's got 2 children for you.
Already.
Give her a chance.
Yeah.
So
And she's a lot younger.
that's how she got to come to the UK. But then they weren't together, but somehow I came in the mix, and the story there was,
Wow.
you know, something else as well. Yeah. She didn't say it happened in no beautiful way.
Okay.
So they weren't together, so obviously that's why he disappeared, because he was already in a 2-year relationship with someone else
before
when she
didn't
came.
Come. Yeah.
Right. So she has me.
Okay.
She's resentful.
Okay.
She's angry.
So are you the only child? Did she leave your other siblings in Jamaica?
Yeah.
Yeah.
So I'm
That's
the
a factor,
firstborn in the UK, right? And so she's angry. Yeah, and she's by herself. 60s UK. 60s UK looks very different to what New Millennium looks like.
Okay.
What it looks like is, if you have a child out of wedlock, they will take your child away. Social
Really?
services, this was part of their policy back in those days.
Okay.
That's why if you check it out, there were lots of children in care during the 60s
Yeah.
and 70s, and it's because their mother had them out of wedlock. They weren't married.
Oh.
Now the black community, what they did was they didn't tell people this, that they weren't married. So they would put rings on.
Oh, this is something new.
Yeah, so they would
Okay.
put wedding rings on and not tell people that they weren't married, because social services
Would come and
took the
take-
children. And I
Yeah.
tell you why I know this story, because my mother worked with a woman who was pregnant and she wasn't married. And the woman had told everyone in the factory that she was having a baby. And when she had the baby, they came to the hospital and took the baby.
And is this just black community or
Everybody.
Everybody.
They were doing it to everybody,
Wow.
as far as I was aware.
Okay.
So my mother now was carrying me. For a long time I was mad about these parts. She banged her belly down, cloth,
Ooh.
so that no one could see the pregnancy.
Yeah, I've heard that story. A lot of people back in the days did try to disguise their pregnancies, but now I can fully understand why.
Well, I was angry, at first, because I was like, she was hiding me, and I think
For a
I was so
different
angry.
reason. Yeah.
And then I didn't, and then it was only after I started
realised.
saying, wow, so she was trying to keep me, not let them take. But then when the abuse, I was thinking, why?
The abuse.
So she hated my father.
Okay.
And she said, I asked her why she did it. She said every time she looked at me, she saw him. But the worst part was,
Every time
people would
she
say
did-
to me,
Yeah.
what are we afraid of your mother?
Oh gosh.
So I grew up.
So even still,
I grew up
even if
with
you did look like your mum, because
And I do.
you came from your father's seed, that was the trigger.
I look like both of them.
Okay.
My eyes look like him and here. But you see here?
That's your mum.
That's all of her. I look in the mirror and frighten myself.
Oh gosh. I look in the mirror and I see my grand. I'm like, oh no. But no, don't. I'm just saying that. I'm just saying that. Yeah.
Listen,
I want my
but-
own features. But
listen,
yes.
but it was all of that. And so she was angry. And I mean, angry to the point where there were other children in the home and none of them got treated like that.
Yeah. But
So-
they didn't come the way you came.
Exactly. So for me, that created internal turmoil because I'm the odd one out in my family. Yeah. I'm treated differently. My mom has taught them how to treat me. So they have no respect for me.
Okay. Even as the eldest sibling in the house.
I don't think they even have respect for me today.
Okay.
You know what I mean? No matter what I achieve or what I've done, I think, some of them celebrate me. Of course, I've got siblings that are my full brother and sister, the two eldest ones in Jamaica, and I've got some other siblings and they celebrate me. But there are definitely some that
Do not. Wow.
no. But
That's very hard to
the
see.
battering was stabbed. It weren't just
Excuse
beatings.
me?
It was not just beatings.
Are you telling me that
I was stabbed. I had broken ribs. I had head injuries that I still suffer now because I have trauma. Because of the head injuries, I've had to go to a hospital and have stitches in my head. So I have 2 head injuries on either side, and they were both created by her. This one ended me up in hospital.
And what ages would these, or from a spouse of
About
abuse?
13. No, about 12, 13.
Wow.
Yeah. So the abuse didn't stop. And it wasn't like normal beatings, like you whack somebody. My mother was a biggish woman. She'd step on me and she'd stand on me to make sure that I was in place, that she could really do the damage.
And you wrote this in your book.
Oh yeah, it's all in the book.
And which book? Title is
Forgiveness,
this one?
The
So
Journey
it's
to Healing the Heart.
the
The
Forgiveness
first book.
So you understand the reason why we're having this conversation today, based on forgiveness, based on trauma, based on abuse, sexual, physical, mental, emotional, all the abuses rolled into one.
How am I still saying?
I say the same thing all the time.
Listen,
all the time. As you just did say earlier on, we're here for a purpose. If we can support or change the life or give voice to one lowly soul, we've done our work here. We've done our work here. And I'm so grateful and appreciative of you. Sorry, folks, I'm just getting over a cold, so I have a bit of a groggy voice. But I'm just so thankful that you're here today and sharing your story with me. And we haven't known each other for a very, very long time. And it's been a chance passing. Well, I wouldn't say it's a chance. I think it's divine intervention.
I agree with you.
We met in a different circle of somebody else who's friends with us separately, and that's how we became friends. And then to find out that our journeys weren't much different, and
our connections,
the
people you know, I know,
not that much different, and it's like wow. But on a more serious note, forgiveness. How do we forgive? How, with all that's been said and done, and those who know my story is I am the shame, and Audreia's story of forgiveness. How do we forgive? Because it's sometimes when you look back and you think of all the things that has happened to you from childhood into adulthood, and still beyond, and even when we reach the age of adulthood and we have relationships, I think you mentioned about being in a traumatic relationship as well. So you think you've gone through the childhood part, you've got over that. You've gone through the teenage part, you've got over that. And then you get into adulthood and you think that person who you entrust your life, your body, your love, and then they abuse you. So, that's something, I know from your story. And I don't know whether you want to talk. You don't have to, but if you choose to, it's entirely up to you.
Listen, the journey continues. You're still alive. The journey continues.
Until you take your last breath, the journey still
continues.
Goes. Yeah.
For me, there have been so many hills and valleys, But I've come to, I think over the past few weeks, there has been a definite divine guiding message.
Okay.
And the message for me has been, it might be weird because it depends on your school of thought. But for
mindset.
me, my school of thought is this, that now the message has been clear. You choose the life that you come into.
You have a choice.
Yes, you choose the life that you've come into. So I had to, just a few days ago, I had to look in the mirror, and go, you know what? I celebrate the little you, the little girl that you were, that brought you to this woman that you are today, because without her, you could never be who you are today.
Yeah.
So I celebrate her, who was cowering, who felt ugly, who felt not enough, not good enough or worthy in this world. And for a long time, coming out of a space like that, I felt ugly, unworthy, not smart, not good enough. Now, when it comes to the subject and conversation of forgiveness, how did I get there? I don't even know how I got there. I'll tell you the truth. People, if you listen to me, don't even go back. How did you get to forgiveness?
Yeah.
I don't know. But recently I'd done a podcast and I said to someone, it's one drop at a time.
Yes, it is.
It was just one drop. It was the desire that started the catalyst for change.
Yeah.
And for me, honestly, like I said, I never thought I would forgive anyone, anytime, of anything. And when I got to this place, it had to start with self-love.
Exactly.
If I couldn't love myself, I couldn't talk about forgiveness. So all the time I used to look at myself in the mirror and I'd find fault. Oh, you're ugly, your nose looks like this, your eyes look like that, you don't look good. And then I came up with short hair. So that other book now, that hair story, the family mane, they are kind of interconnected. And that one was like, I was being teased. I grew up around a family and people and going to school, a dry-haired gal, picky-haired gal, this. So it wasn't just the one thing that was happening in my life. Simultaneously, I was getting boss up at home, mash up, wail up, you know what I mean? And then I'm going to school and picky-haired, dry-haired gal. So I wasn't getting away from it anywhere. And I'm talking about junior school into senior school. So I was the ugly girl. So it was hard to find the self-love because I couldn't see anything to love because people had already told me, reinforced and endorsed my ugliness. Yeah. So to find my self-love, believe me, it was such a far pit to pull myself up out of. Yeah. And it started little bits. I had to do the mirror work. I had to do the.
Let's talk about the mirror work.
that mirror work sounded like a lot of BS when I first started doing it, you know. No, serious, I have to talk the truth.
How did you come on to doing this?
Louise Hay. There's a writer called Louise Hay, and I read a lot of her books. I read a lot of self-help books. I listened to a lot of self-help because I needed self-help.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Actually went to university in 1992 and trained to become a counsellor. Did my degree in counselling because I needed a counsellor and I couldn't see none that looked like this. So therefore, I went out there and became my own.
To just touch upon that, when you said when you needed counselling, there wasn't many counsellors that looked like you and I
never saw
male
one.
or female.
I never saw one in 1992.
Wow.
I never saw one. I went into university and not one of those students looked like me.
Wow, so you were the minority, the one.
The one.
My goodness.
You know what I mean? 1992.
Well, fair play to you. You went to look and seek for somebody no better than you.
But you know what happened there was that that's where the part of the healing started.
Okay.
Because I only went to university to do the most basic of counselling courses. I didn't go to do a degree.
What do you think you go to university
for?
I
went. They had two courses on. They had two courses on, and one was a diploma, a simple diploma, and one was a degree. By the time I finished having the conversation with this woman, she said to me, "You're not going on the basic course, you're going on the degree."
Gosh.
And I said to her, because you know, up until then, I'm dyslexic.
Yeah.
Me too. Up until that point,
we have so many similarities, girl.
Listen, up until that point, I heard, "You fool, you don't have no sense." And then I was in the dunce class. Basically,
second to the bottom,
the lowest class. So I'd never had confidence, you know what I mean? So I was not the girl who was like all the flowing hair and the like, and the this and the that and the smart brains and the this and that.
Underdog.
I was not totally the underdog, but here what? I love it now, you know, because nobody got their eyes on me since I'm the underdog, so I can do things, and you're not seeing me and do it.
Right.
You know what I mean? But when I was growing up, being the underdog was painful.
Yeah.
Because as a child, you want to fit in with your peers.
Yeah.
You want to fit in with everybody. You know, you don't want to hear that you're stupid. You know, no sense. And then when your own family saying that to you as well, you fool. You know, no sense. You know, no this. You know what I mean? Wow. So you believe it.
Yeah.
You believe it.
Yeah.
Because nobody's reinforcing that. Nothing good about you.
No one giving you no positivity.
So here what says, I heard nothing good about myself. Yeah? I only had a couple of amazing people in my life that made me feel like I was a human being. Yeah? And they, majority, weren't really my blood.
Yeah. Sometimes they say friends treat you better than family, don't they?
Yeah. They were not my blood. You know, and it was painful growing up in a life where you thought you're stupid, you're ugly, and you've got nothing going for you. So for me, I saw no future. In my life, I saw nothing. And so the mirror work now, you asked me about that. So this Louise Hayes, so I tried a lot.
Louise Hayes.
Hay, yes.
Okay.
Louise
I'm going to
Hay.
look her up after this.
Oh, please. Please do. She got fantastic mirror work.
Wonderful.
And yeah, I started doing this mirror work. I got the book and then I started doing it, looking in my eyes in the mirror. I love you, I love you, I love you, I love you, I love you. You're beautiful, you're beautiful. And I was looking at myself. Yeah. Stupidness is a pure rubbish. You know what I mean? But I kept at it.
Yeah.
And they say if you do something for 30 days,
discipline.
If you keep doing it, you rewind.
Oh.
So a lot of what I do is reprogrammed.
Right.
I had to reprogram myself.
Yes.
I wire my brain.
Yes.
You know what I mean? I had to rewire all that I grew up with, all that I was told about myself. Yeah? I had to rewire that. Today you can't tell me none of that rubbish.
Yeah.
But it's because of the work I had to do
to yourself.
On me.
On yourself.
Yeah? So that mirror work was profoundly powerful. But it wasn't just the mirror work, but that was a big part of it.
I'm going to have to get you back on so we could just talk about mirror work. When I've gone online myself and done it, but I don't need it now because I always love myself.
I kiss myself.
I kiss myself, yeah, because I'm gorgeous. But you have to program yourself to think and feel this way because nobody is really going to do that for you.
Fact.
It all starts with yourself. Yeah. Hence why we're called Stoic, CIC. Just putting that back out there to you guys because self starts with you.
Yes.
You've got to love yourself first. It's like you're on that aeroplane when if there's any turbulence or if there's any disaster, coming. You have to put your mask on first before you can help anybody else. So it starts with you. Yeah. So I'm really, really intrigued about this. Is it Louise? I'm going to look into her. Yeah. So you've completed all of that. You've reprogrammed yourself. And we get to the point where you're starting to journal, which is another big thing that you do. Man, and I'm so looking forward to it because you're going to be one of our guest speakers at our up and coming retreat, which will actually be starting when you're viewing this on the same day. So unfortunately you won't be able to make this retreat, but you can always join us on the next one. But it's going to be like lovely ladies like Audreia, who's going to be special guests and supporting the ladies on the retreat with different types of therapy and journaling, and obviously you're going to do some journaling with us on the day. And so I'm looking forward to that. But if you want to just give a little snippet about journaling, but then to come back in about the forgiveness.
The journaling is such an important thing because you don't know what's going on in your head sometimes, until you put it on paper.
Exactly.
And journaling has been amazing.
Pen to page.
Pen to page.
So
healing.
Liberating.
And whenever I do journaling, and especially when I reread it, I see whether my down or where I'm working on myself, because sometimes you're not fully connecting, because we're mothers, we're wives, we're sisters, we're this, we're that, we're so much to everyone else, and you just drop your stuff into your journal, but you're actually not sometimes monitoring. My mood has been like that for several weeks, months, days, whatever, or that, and when I'm down, what did I do the last time to get myself back up? So that's all I'm going to say on the journey. Because we don't want to mess with that. We don't want to mess with the workshop. Journaling is an important thing to get it out your brain onto paper.
I can definitely vouch for that. I've been journaling. This is going to be my 6th year coming. My first year was just ugly. I can't look at that journal because it took and uprooted everything with all the trauma, all the heartache, all the pain. Went to the page. But I won't say about the page, and it doesn't criticize, it gives you reflection, it shows you where you are, as you said, in your journey, and so I can look back some of the things and say, wow, I've achieved and I've done it. You know, when you
Yeah.
say you're pulling
Yeah.
yourself out.
Yeah.
And for just to finish on that, every year I start my journal, a new book. Wherever I finish on the other one, I just finish there. But every year on my birthday,
Yeah.
I start a new journal.
Oh, okay.
I write myself a love note, and so yeah, you said you started.
I started writing letters, forgiveness letters.
Forgiveness letters. Okay.
It was weird. I don't even know where it came from.
Okay.
But when it landed inside, it was like a download.
Okay.
Genuinely a download. And I'll tell you how I know it was a download and that it was for real. Was that when this thing came inside of me, I was like, forgiveness letters. And Iana Van Zandt is a speaker. Oh, you're gonna... I'll get you into it. Anyway, she's my guru. She's the most amazing woman, and she's helped me because her story's been similar to mine. She's American.
Can I just ask you, who's your guru?
Iana Van Zandt. Her name is Iana, or they call it Ilana, depends how you pronounce it, Van Zandt. Now, she has written Acts of Faith.
Acts of Faith.
It's a daily read.
Oh.
So I keep it in my bathroom.
Okay.
I've read that book from January to the 31st of December for 20 plus years.
So
as soon as I finish, it starts from
so
the
is it 365 day?
Yes.
And is it like on a calendar thing, or is it an actual physical book?
It's a physical book about that size.
Okay.
Purple book.
A small book.
Yeah.
Okay.
Keep it in my bathroom because you have to go in your bathroom every morning.
Yeah. So you know
that's
where
it
you're
is.
Gonna read it.
And I've read that book for about the past 25 years.
Wow.
Every single day.
What's her name again?
Iana Van Zandt. Iana. Is it? Iana Van Zandt anyway.
Yeah,
she used to be on Oprah Winfrey.
I will give you the
She used to be on Oprah
her.
as well. Now she has been one of my biggest catalysts for forgiveness. Oh yeah. Because her journey has been very similar to mine.
Okay.
And when I looked at her, wow, I was very inspired by her. And so I kind of took the energy and moved with it. Yeah, and so, yeah, she inspires me no end. She absolutely inspired me.
Well, you've got to have that one person.
It's her.
One or few, but there's always that one particular person.
Because I'm always looking for someone that I can connect to.
Yes.
A lot of writers out there don't look like me. They say stuff and I love what they do. Don't get it wrong. But for me, representation makes a difference.
Okay.
Right?
Okay.
It makes a difference. It's very important to me personally.
Okay.
You know? And so reading her stuff got me into the forgiveness space.
Wow.
Yeah. And so I looked at her and I thought, wow, she's gone through so many things and she's forgiving. Then what's going on with me? Let me see how I can. And so when this thing started downloading in me, I actually spoke to a friend of mine who was she's a pastor of a church.
Okay.
And we're just friends, you know. I don't do church thing, but I still have lots of people in that space.
Spiritual.
Yes, I'm spiritual, but I'm not religious.
Yeah,
I'm not religious.
I hear that.
I'm not religious. Yeah. I'm spiritual.
Yeah.
And so I spoke to her about what was going on in my head, and I said, you know, this forgiveness thing, blah, 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 and I was having this conversation. Well, she loved it so much, she went and preached it the next day in her church. Wow. And when she preached it, she said, so many people came to the altar who had not been speaking to their mother, their father, their this, their that. She said, Audreia, you're onto something. Yeah. And I'm like, we had a conversation. I don't know what I'm onto. Yeah. She said, Audrey, when I went to the church, and she said, my sister spoke to me about this. And she said, it touched the heart of the people. I said, visualization is so important. And for me, in order to forgive, I had to see them in my mind's eye. Yeah. See them and say what I needed to. You don't talk back though. You don't get to talk in my visualization. I don't want any words. It's just there. I say what I need to say and energetically cut. And that was really it. So that's why I'm saying that I had to reprogram myself and rewire, you know, because of these false beliefs.
Yeah.
And those were the first things I had to forgive myself for. Because people talk about now self-forgiveness. What have I got to forgive myself for?
Yeah.
I had to forgive myself for believing all those lies.
Yeah.
That I was told.
Yeah.
That I was not worthy, that I was not powerful, that I was not beautiful.
Yeah.
I'm beautiful inside out. You see, my expectation growing up of beauty was outwardly.
Yes.
When
You have to look at the inner beauty.
Yeah. And
the
so
inner beauty.
I had to find my inner beauty first and then the outer beauty. I mean, I've come across people, you're pretty, you're this, you're that. I've never ever seen any of that until I started loving me.
Yeah.
I mean, because I always thought, if a man tell me that, you're awesome. You know what I mean? Don't tell me that I'm pretty, because I think you're just making words. You know what I'm saying? And it's funny. Now I'm older, the people who are close to me, when I tell them this, that's how I was thinking. They're shocked. They actually can't believe that I thought I was ugly.
Yeah.
My friend, she said, no, I just see a little pretty face. And then my other friend in America said, I only ever saw your beauty. I never saw what you
Beauty is in the eye of the beholder. Beauty is skin deep, but you need to know about the soul. The soul is what is where the beauty lies, peace lies, happiness lies. And by the way, happiness comes from being at peace. Happiness on its own doesn't last long. It's not fruitful.
I had to throw away the happiness.
Yeah.
Shall I tell you why?
Hold yourself happy for.
You're talking about happy. I had to throw that happiness away because I traded it in for joy.
Okay, there's the other one.
Hello, I'm going to tell you for why. Because happiness is outside of myself. Do you know what I mean?
Yeah.
Happiness, something has to happen outside of me. Joy is an inside job.
Yeah.
And so I had to, because I used to look at people and think, because of my life, I've been sad, I've been this, going to relationship, I'm expecting somebody in a relationship to make me happy.
Yeah.
And I realized that if I'm joy on the inside, whatever happiness you bring from the outside is a bonus. But I've got to love me, self-love
first.
Have my own joy on the inside. What I realized was a lot of what I looked at was on the outside of me.
Yeah.
When I started recognizing about the inside job work, that was where the power was.
Yes, all along.
The power was
all
there.
All along.
You know, it's a bit like, what was it, Wizard of Oz? You ever watched that?
Courage.
Your courage and your strength and your this. And it was all inside of you.
All along. All along.
You know what I mean?
But it takes sometimes a lifetime for some. Some get it early on. Some never get it and go to the grave with it. Go to the grave holding all those, you know, traumas, anxieties, pain,
and
suffering.
I know a lot of people,
you know,
that have left here with anger and pain and sadness. And, you know, one of the things that I do say when I do my workshops, when I give talks, I say, I'm going to die empty.
Yes.
And when I say I'm going to die empty, I'm not going to die with none of that bitterness and anger and frustration to take it out. So people, how can you forgive? I did it for me. I did it for me. Me. I did it for me because I'm worthy enough to have my joy.
Exactly.
And outside happiness.
Exactly.
You know? And I'm good.
One thing I want to ask you or come back to as well, because of my journey and with my chapter on forgiveness, you just said it as well. I forgave me. I never forgave anybody else. You went one step better than me, but I didn't forgive anybody else. I thought, I'm not going to do that. For me, I'm just going to forgive me, because that's when everything changes, because I no longer hold on to the trauma, the hurt, the resentment, the non-acceptance, all of that it's gone. And that's me putting pen to page and, you know, telling my truth and taking, you know, people through my journey. So you did the letters, which I never thought of it like that, but I have heard of it before, but I never looked at it like that with forgiveness. How does
my story
with the book
with the forgiveness?
Yes.
You know what? I gave myself a bit of trouble writing that book. Okay. I'm going to tell you, it was the best thing I ever did in my life, writing the book.
Okay.
It was my therapy.
Okay, yeah, I hear
but
that.
What happened was, I wrote until it stopped inside of me.
Okay.
Now, that led me to about the age of 30.
Wow.
So I still need to write another book. So I got people, when are you going to write the other book? When are you going to write? So my book basically ends New Year's Day, and my ex-partners left me.
Oh, gosh. But is that a good thing or a bad thing at that?
Trauma.
Okay.
And I didn't sleep for 2 years.
Oh no.
And I couldn't eat. And, you know, I've had various different breakdowns, nervous breakdowns in my life. Didn't even know.
Okay. That they were.
Till I look back.
Yeah.
Like,
yeah, I know.
Oh
I didn't even know I was having outbursts.
I'm a manic woman.
Until when I learned about it.
Yeah.
So, you know, people go through things in their life, and because it's not spoken about, because it's not brought awareness to, we just take it and see it as the norm. But when you're woke and when you realise and you then can track back, or trek back rather, you then see where those trigger points actually were.
Memory is a powerful thing, isn't it?
Yeah.
We're looking
it can make or break you.
Yeah. But you know what? For me, what it has caused me to do in my life, especially this journey of healing, is that it has caused me to go back into my story of my life and clean up some of the mess that I just didn't know was a mess.
So you went back and...
Oh yeah, I've gone back in. I've stepped back into my story.
Okay.
I've rewound, stepped back into it, looked at the players on the stage, recognised who they are, and realised that you did this because you weren't powerful and you tried to gain your power by doing this to me. And I recognised that me...
So they're more weak, they are vulnerable, but they use manipulation to empower themselves to bring you down or a person down, so that they can feel that they are.
Listen, you know, the battered child stuff was no secret in my family. Okay. Right? My mum boasted about it. She would tell people it would be entertainment, it would be fun, with conversation. We used to beat that one day. You know what I mean? And she even did that. I was 40 odd years old and gone to America with my husband, second husband. And my mother sat there around the table telling somebody how she abused and battered me. And this man sat there, she was boasting about it. And he was just horrified. Because he thought she was a goodly Christian woman. Someone from her church.
Oh no.
And she sat there talking about it. So, yeah, and it re-traumatized me. Because after all the work I had done on myself at that time.
And where were you in age again? 40?
I was old. My mum was sort of about 45 years old. You know? 45 years old.
And still...
and she brought something up as if it was casual entertainment, and that was her justification to the family was she too bad. And what happened was, and for a long time, you know, I wanted to be like my younger siblings because they were quiet. I was not.
But why were you?
You hear me before you see me. I was a child that was full of energy, and especially 60s. the child should be seen and not
definitely
heard.
not heard.
And me, why walk when you can run?
Yeah.
I was that kind of child.
Yeah.
So it wasn't like, I was seen, I was all singing, all dancing, all gymnastics, all bouncing, all climbing all over everything. And that was just my natural energy.
Yeah. And imagine if you weren't abused, either physically or sexually. Imagine the child you would have been back then, even more so, because if your soul and your equilibrium is that way inclined, that you're very outgoing, you're more of an extrovert. Right. Imagine if you had all of you together.
Yeah, and supported. Supported, because, you know, what's meant for you is meant for you. I look at that. Yeah, I know that. That's the truth of the matter. But I know I had lots of talent as a child as well. Talent that was not nurtured. Yeah. So that's why I love seeing my granddaughter. Yeah. She sings, she does this, and she's encouraged, and she's got this amazing mom that feeds into all of that. Yeah. You know, and I look at it and I was like, wow. You know, because she's a light force. Yeah. I'm a light force. Yeah. And they obviously saw it, and they tried to suppress it.
You chose to change what had happened to you to still shine. Yeah. You know, and it's sad sometimes because, but you know what? We can say it's sad, but some of us have to go through these types of journeys to come out the other side.
I'm a late bloomer.
And to be here on this platform.
I'm a late bloomer.
Yeah, talking about it. And talking about it now and bringing awareness, because if you look back and if you were in your mother's shoes or your grandmother's shoes in my journey, at their time, they weren't us. Yeah. They wouldn't have been sat here like we're sitting here and discussing this so openly. No,
everything was closed.
Under the carpet. Elephant in the corner. Hush your mouth. Why are you bringing up old news?
Don't talk your business, I wrote.
What goes on in the house
stays in the house.
Do you understand what I'm saying to you? Yeah. So now we're in the house and we're taking it out on the streets so that everybody else can hear and know, and to safeguard their own young ones that are coming into the world now. But funny enough, these kids, most of them, they take no prisoners to what we went through. They will not go through that. You know, even my own children, they shut me down half of the time. So that, you know, whereas if I tried to shut my mom down, even worse, my gran, back in them days, my mouth would have been twisted off. Yep. So, you know, and obviously the law was different then as it is now. If I tried to twist,
they got more rights now.
Yeah, they've got a load of rights now. And if I tried to twist one of my mouths off, I'd go into jail. So, because I wouldn't just stop there. But, you know, we have to laugh about it sometimes, but it's serious. Our parents were not designed to nurture in the sense of protection, in the sense of support, and love. Love, the main craft of it all, you know. Yeah. It's difficult.
I think we have more access to each other.
Yes.
As women, in a different way to what they had as well. I think we're willing to talk about things more. Wouldn't have.
I think they probably would have talked about it, but they wouldn't have publicised it. Because, you know, you're going to have cousins or, you know, because I knew my mum had loads of cousins that she went out with and clubbed with and stayed with and lived with. And they must have talked. I've not asked her that question actually. I must ask her that question.
That would be an interesting question.
Yeah, it would be an interesting question. But I feel and think in my heart of hearts, because, like, you know, you go out with your girlies and you go clubbing and you come back together and you huddle up in bed together and you talk about the evening, the night, how it went, and then you come on to like some more serious stuff, or even the next morning you wake and you talk about it. But
I couldn't. Maybe because of the space.
Did you not have anybody to do that with?
No, and I
neither did I.
I didn't actually see the women around me interacting in that that way. The most that I would see women interacting is cooking and being something to a man. Because we were taught to be something to other people first before we were anything to ourselves.
You are absolutely, absolutely
and
right.
So I honestly, from the era that I come from, I don't think they had the access to hold this space. You know what I mean? And that may be just from where I come from. You know what I'm saying? But now I'm older, I realize that most of the women that I was surrounded by, they were all traumatized.
Yeah, I agree.
Some form of trauma, and it's unhealed. You know what I'm saying?
I think the women that I was surrounded by weren't so much sexually abused, but I think they were physically abused and mentally abused. Yeah,
you know, it's not just the physical thing. There's so many different types of abuse.
Of course,
somebody lays hands on your body. That's your physical, but your mental, your emotional abuse. And you know, I grew up hearing that same man who sexually abused me as a child tell my mother, "You're a fool. You can't eat with a knife and fork." And he belittled her and put
in
her
front
down.
of her children as well.
Yeah.
And she took it.
Yes.
Yeah.
That you can't eat with a knife and fork, you can only eat with a spoon.
Wow. And so what if you could only eat with a spoon, or you choose?
That's a controller, a narcissist, an abuser who wants to tell you what you can't do. That time, you're sexually abusing her child.
Yeah.
So who are you?
He's controlling the household.
Who are you to tell her that?
Nobody.
You know what I'm saying? Now when I look at it, and that's the thing about memory when it comes back. If it shuts down and it opens back up, as it does. I'm grateful to having my son, that it came back. I'm grateful to my firstborn, but that led to the parenting style that I parented that child.
Okay.
And so there wasn't enough warmth and love because I didn't have it for me. I was a young teenage girl who had not 10 years prior been abused, and then I become a mother. What do I have to offer? Being a battered child who's thinking that I'm ugly and this and that. I love my baby. You know, glad for my baby. I just had no clue. But therein steps the magical women in my life.
The few.
Who's got your back.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? And one of them was his godmother. And I was blessed.
You've just brought me onto something else. Sorry to cut
you
in
that go for it.
You are known as the godmother.
The forgiveness godmother.
Oh, the forgiveness godmother. That's right. As you just said, godmother, it just came to me because I meant to say this at the very start of this conversation. How did you come on to get that title?
That one day. It was a client of mine, you know. It's someone I coached.
Okay.
And I coached her for a period of time.
Okay.
And when the coaching had come to the end, she said to me, "You know what you are?" I said, "What?" She said, "You're the forgiveness godmother."
Oh.
She named me.
Yeah.
She named
And
me.
that's where it came
and
from.
She's deeply spiritual sister, you know.
Okay.
And some of my pictures and stuff that I have out there, she took them.
Wow.
She's also amazing spiritual photographer.
Wow.
Yeah, and she does yoga. Aisha Medley.
Hey!
Aisha, wherever you are.
Who again?
Aisha Medley. She's the one who she named me.
I'd love to meet you one day.
Oh, she's
Aisha.
an amazing sister.
Oh,
Yes. And
wonderful.
it stuck.
Yeah.
It just stuck. And I'm like, I didn't name myself. You know, people think that you inflated ego and all that. Oh, I'm the forgiveness godmother. No, I didn't name myself. I'm just Audreia. Doing, you know,
You're
the work that I put in the world.
I'm telling you, I'm not letting you go. Honestly, this woman, I I mean, it hasn't been a long time that we've known each other. In her presence, I feel as if I've known you
For long,
no,
no,
the majority of my life.
Oh,
And funny enough, in parallel, we have potentially known each other or could have known each other.
And the thing is,
for
we
a whole
know
of
the
our
same
life.
people.
We know
the same people in our journey.
So, yeah. But Audrey, I just want to say thank you. Thank you. And we're going to have a part 2 because we're nowhere halfway through everything. And plus I want to know about the other books, especially about the main journey
book, yes.
and the other one with the part of forgiveness in it.
30-day guide.
30-day guide.
30-day guide, the heart detox.
Heart detox, right? So I will also put at the end of this podcast, I will also put up all of Audrey's books that she's written, so you can have a look at them and purchase them and read them and identify with them. It's been such an honor having you on this platform today with me, and I look forward to part 2. We'll work that out for another occasion. But thank you all for tuning in, for listening, for watching, and this was Let's Talk podcast with me, myself, the Stoic.
Thank you, Jeannie. Thank you so very much.